This is Live Speak, and I'm Justin the Geek. I'll be taking your calls, answering your questions if I can, filling your head full of nonsense and acting like a fool. Here we go. Enjoy the show. Welcome everybody to Live Speak. I am Justin the Geek. I have a great show for you today. I have a couple guests on the show. Really respected guests. First guest that I have on the show, his name's Daniel Freedom Portis. He's a web developer by day and an online instructor by night. He teaches at udemy.com just like I do, and he started using that platform for teaching after people were randomly asking him on Skype to assist him with, basic Apple and Mac tips and tricks via the screen share that Skype has. He's got a site, if you go to Udemy or to YouTube, it's Freedom McFlyy. So I want to welcome you to the show, Daniel.
Hey, thanks for having me, Justin. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm starting this new thing where I'm going to have more of the Udemy instructors on my show just so they can talk about their classes that they teach. It's one of those things that this independent education, as we call it, is getting so popular. It's people are finding more and more ways to go and teach themselves rather than going to college and spending tons and tons of money. They're seeking different ways of learning things. Like, a lot of graphic designers go on YouTube. I'm sure at some point, Daniel, you went on YouTube and looked at tutorials and probably still do.
Yeah, absolutely. I love YouTube for the fact that there is so many different, it doesn't matter if you want to learn, rocket science or if you want to learn Photoshop, it's right there on YouTube for you. But one of the reasons why I really jumped into the Udemy platform is because, the structure, it's like, you got to kind of bounce around, and then, you start off with rocket science, and then you end up, watching cute little kittens wrestle each other, Yeah.
Yeah, there's no structure when you're on YouTube. It's one of those things that you hope that you can finish whatever you started.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I like Udemy as well. So tell me then, I know I take one of your courses, actually. It's how to lose weight without a gym, which a lot of people nowadays need because gym memberships are outrageous. So tell me how that came about. I know you're a guy that's really fit and in shape, but how did that idea come about?
Well, it's one of them things to where it's honestly, it's the education behind the exercise. It's not necessarily the exercise itself. And one of the things I talk about in the course there is, basically, in reference to if you do your research in reference to how to do an exercise correctly, you can limit your time in the gym. When I used to do the personal training actually in the gym, I would tell people all the time, hey, let's sign up for, personal training. I would work with them 3 days a week or so, but my main objective was to, get it reduced down to exercising in the gym one time a week and doing some things from home. So, it's a great course, I'm glad you remember.
Do you have any specials going on with your course right now, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have the code Justin. I honored to be on the show, and if you just type in Justin under Redeem It on Udemy, I'm sure it's in the show notes there. But you can also go to udemy.com /u/freedom, and that'll take you right to my profile. You'll see the all my courses. You'll see the fitness course there. And you just type in Justin and the Redeem It, and you'll get half price there.
Yeah, that's a good deal. For everybody that's listening too, I will have on the show notes after the show, in the details, I'll have the link for his courses and the discount codes and things. So if you don't remember them right now, they'll be on the show notes afterwards. Also, for those that are listening live right now, there's a chat window, if you don't know, in the bottom right of your screen as you're listening. It looks like a little bubble. If you click in that, you can go ahead and chat with Daniel or myself. I keep wanting to call you Danielle. I'm sorry, but
It's okay.
it's that Danielle at Udemy that I always see. You know, we get emails from all the time. So
Oh yeah.
I'm just
Oh
gonna
yeah.
start calling you Freedom. That's a
Okay.
lot easier.
That works. That works. I've been called worse. No,
Yeah,
no
I
worries.
know. Me too. I'm sure. So, I mean, do you think that um, learning like online, like Udemy, is going to be a really popular thing? I know it's starting to kind of take off, but do you think it's going to really, really, really be impactful and huge?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. With the technology, with the iPads and the iPhones and the Androids, and the computers being portable, I strongly believe that it will be a platform to where everyone's doing the learning, or even if it's a section of it. I already noticed that my daughter in high school, her teacher has a part of her homework assignment to do some things on YouTube, and I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty cool that it's so interactive. So I mean, why not, have fun with your learning.
Yeah, exactly. And I like it too that there are online schools like the University of Phoenix and the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. It's online, but it's not at your own pace. I mean, it kind of is, but you still have a deadline. You still have to get things done at a specific time. Now, as for Udemy, you get lifetime access. As soon
Right.
as you sign up for your course or for my course, you get it. You're there. And you can take as long as you want to finish the class. You can ask questions, you can ask the other students questions. It's always going to be there. Um, like at the University of Phoenix, my brother's actually doing his master's program in that right now, and he has to get certain things done by like 11:59 every night.
Mhm.
And being that he's a father, and a husband, he's got another baby on the way. It's difficult.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like about Udemy. The interface is really nice. It's laid out well. Um,
Yeah.
as long as the instructor lays out their course well. I have seen some courses that, generally they're free, but they're laid out very poorly and hard to follow. But you still get the whole course in one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, it's not like YouTube where you go and look for one thing. Like I might look up for something for Photoshop, how to make a logo, and I'll see one video on the starting of make a logo, and then the next video is going to be like, oh, look at these cute bunnies, and it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with it, but they have a tag in it that happens to reference pictures or Photoshop or something. So yeah, I really like Udemy in that sense. But I tell you what, let's go to a commercial break real quick, and we'll be back with Daniel in just a second. All right, welcome back. I hope that was a great commercial. I don't get to pick the commercials, so I have no idea what that one was about. I hope it was something decent. But Daniel and I were talking over the break about some of the benefits of joining these courses and paying for them on Udemy versus going to, colleges or searching all over on YouTube. And Daniel, you made a good point. Along with the lifetime access. Now I'm forgetting what you said.
Yeah, well, with the lifetime access that Udemy, already provides for you, what I'd like to do is, I pretty much send a message to everyone who subscribes to any of my courses, and what I do is I kind of let them know that, through the power of a screen share, through Skype, through whatever platform that they're, pretty much familiar with, even if it's like a Uvu or what, Log Me In, whatever the case may be. I usually have the power to connect with them through the technology today and assist them, hands-on, one-on-one, and really be able to really help them get it. The way a few of my courses are set up and designed and lined, structured out. I kind of want people to go into them as somewhat like a Bible. And this is like, you go in and you get this section, whether it's, learning iMovie or if it's learning something over here is in reference to your heart rate with the fitness course. If it's something you just don't understand, if there's something I can do to make my course a lot better, I'm definitely willing to I'm definitely willing to upgrade my course from your feedback and also kind of connect with you one on one. So, it's just a very intuitive platform to where I get to, meet a lot of new people, and just have fun with it.
Yeah, I like what you said about taking suggestions and updating your course, because with that, the lifetime access, if we update it at any point, you get access to all of that. So the continual updating of the course, like for mine with speeding up your computer, right now it's just focused on Windows 7. Now I might make a course on speeding up Windows 8, or I might just update my current course to include Windows 8, so the people that have already purchased it will have access to that as well. So it is a nice way of, and they have the new live questions and answering sessions, the Q&A. I tried doing that, but I haven't gotten it to work yet.
And another thing I would like to add in there is, in reference to the old textbooks, a lot of times it would be a situation where the book will be outdated. With the live courses, as the new software comes about in some of those courses, and then within the new exercises, within, I am doing P90X, I am doing Insanity and Asylum, so as I kind of go through these programs, I'm able to go back in, update my course to kind of give you, that whole feel, that whole, the holistic approach in reference to understanding, why you're doing these jumping jacks. Because just doing them without having a purpose behind it, it's just like, it's just really wearing you out, to where it's like mentally, like, I just don't understand why I'm doing this, and it hurts, so why keep doing it?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. Getting a little back information in there, that's actually really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like your course. I like the way you have your course laid out. I'm such a visual learner, and I'm one of those people that I like to know why with everything in life. Why does it do that? Why is it like that? And most of the time in life, you won't figure out the reason why. But when it comes to learning and things like that, the way it's laid out on Udemy, and like in your course and mine and Diane's course, it's all visual. Here's why I'm doing it. Here's why it works. Now go do it.
Right.
Sort of thing,
Absolutely.
With something like my course with the speeding up your computer, it changes so rapidly. There's always something new. There's always a new antivirus program. So being able to get those updates, and the information about new products and things like that is amazing. So it's good to sign up for these courses, and we're talking about a fraction of the price that it costs to go to college. You go and take even a community ed class at a college. You go take to learn like Microsoft Excel.
I think it would be the fraction of one of the books in there, man. I mean,
oh my gosh, yeah, that's a good point.
These classes are very inexpensive,
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that, and there's constant deals going on. Udemy does promotions, the instructors do the promotions.
Yeah. And one thing I like to do is, if you follow me on Twitter, and I go by ATL Developer on Twitter there, if you kind of really engage with me and you're looking at my courses, any of my courses, and you want to get involved, what I do is, and I just think it's fun, I pick one day out of the month, and I don't tell anybody what day that is, but what I do is I make all my courses completely free, one day of the month. So if you're there, if you see that tweet, you see that Facebook update, if you happen to find it over on Udemy, you're looking at the course that day, and you'll see it, it's going to be absolutely free, and it's just kind of like a cat and mouse game, and it's just fun,
That's a good idea. That's a really smart idea. That's engaging. I would never get that with a college professor.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Unless I had a really cool college professor that had tons of time on his hands. But like you said, with all the modern technology and updates, I mean, especially they got, the app for the iPad for Udemy, so you can just have your iPad with you and take your course while you're riding the bus, or on the plane, whatever, as long as you have internet access, of course, or if you're allowed to download the videos. Have you done that yet? Have you allowed any of your videos to be downloaded yet?
Actually, I haven't. I'm a little bit afraid that if they get downloaded, they get shared, in and not in a good manner. I do want people to share the good news and everything, but I have been flirting around with kind of letting a few videos that I definitely have out there within the free preview being able to be downloaded, and you never know, that might call someone in to really want to get involved.
Yeah, that's true. I've recently I noticed on the Udemy website that somebody practically copied my course. I mean, they didn't go and take my videos and put them up, so they didn't exactly duplicate my course. And I understand that there are many ways to speed up your computer. There's no one set way of doing it. But watching this guy's course, it's only 5 lectures. Mine's 18. But his 5 lectures, he uses the same websites that I recommend. He uses the same tools outside of Windows that I recommend. He shows the exact same methods of using these software. I mean, it's like he just took my course and put it up for free for no reason.
Wow.
So, and that's 113 people have signed up for his course. Now, I've been told by Udemy that they're really good. That's another thing, is Udemy's been really good about communicating with me and protecting us. They have a whole team of lawyers. So I let them deal with all that junk, but they told me that the guy's course isn't actually searchable in the marketplace where all the other courses are, because luckily they have that quality check now.
Oh, okay.
They have that checklist that you have to go through. And they go through and make sure that your course has certain things. I mean, basically it's so you have an intro, some stuff in the middle, and a conclusion. That's the really, really bottom line. But and then you got to have high quality video, audio, and that guy's course that had kind of been duplicated of mine has terrible audio and terrible video, so it didn't get approved, and it's not being searchable. So whatever he's getting, all the customers, I would say, or subscribers he's getting are coming from his own promotions, I guess, somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, if he's going to do something, he should at least do it right. I mean, come on, man.
That's one thing I like about, a lot of people were kind of griping about the Udemy checklist when it came out, but I think it sets a standard. It's just like any college or school. You want to have a certain standard of quality and work.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I don't mind it at all. Really, I don't.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
But so what, do you have anything big going for 2013? I mean, you have more courses, you have a new website out, anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot more courses coming. I do have, me and my wife together. We're teaching, and helping people, understand passive income. The website is in beta right now. The site is 90% done. I'm like I call myself like a barber. Most barbers don't have time to groom themselves. So, it's like I'm working on so many other websites that I didn't have time to really finish out the site yet before the show here. But the website is, if you go to websitecandy.us as of right now, you will be able to visit the website, kind of peek in, take a look at it. You're not able to do any shopping yet, so just make sure that you stay connected with me on Twitter at ATL Developer, over on Twitter. And we can connect for sure. I definitely will tweet you, let you know when the site is live if you're, listening to this show here. And but yeah, check out the site, and it's just a whole bunch of great things as far as, making money in your sleep. Everybody wants to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know what passive income was until this last 8 months.
Yeah.
When I got hooked up with the digitalcraft.com guys, and I didn't know what it was or anything, but the idea of making money, while you're doing nothing is amazing.
Yeah.
That's like gold. And there's so many ways and so many opportunities, out there. There's so many ways of doing it. So that's actually pretty cool. I'm going to have to check that out. And again, the link to that and everything will be in the show notes afterwards, so everybody can check it out. But we're going to go to a commercial break, or actually a music break here, and I'm going to bring Diane Darling on after the music break. But Daniel, thank you very much for being on the show.
I've enjoyed my time with you, Justin.
This has been great.
Very much.
I'll definitely throw your links up on the end of the at the end of the show, so everybody can see them, and definitely go check out his courses.
Good deal. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Daniel.
All righty.
Have a good one.
You too now.
without before you let me in. I see you wanna take a chance, and on your own 2 feet you try to take a stand, but who you going against? I see you picking up the pace with the closer I get. The look upon your face says you want me to quit. So I guess I'll stay in the way I'll be till one of us wins.
Been looking over my shoulder, echoes of footsteps in the hall. It's like my dreams are chasing me. It's like my dreams are chasing me. Every time I look in the mirror, I see a face I don't recognize. It's like my dreams are chasing me. It's like my dreams are chasing me. I won't give up until you give in to me. I'm more of a man than you'll ever be. I give you more than you could ever know. Spin the globe, I'll take you anywhere you wanna go. Been looking over my shoulder, echoes of footsteps in the hall. It's like my dreams are chasing me. It's like my dreams are chasing me. Every time I look in the mirror, I see a face I don't recognize. It's like my dreams are chasing me. It's like my dreams are chasing me. Been looking over my shoulder, echoes of footsteps in the hall. It's like my dreams are chasing me. It's like my dreams are chasing me. Every time I look in the mirror, I see a face I don't recognize. It's like my dreams are chasing me. It's like my dreams are chasing me.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Live Speak, and I am Justin the Geek. As mentioned before, I have another guest on the show. Her name is Diane Darling. Welcome to the show, Diane.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here.
Now, Diane has she has a course that I'm taking because I'm a nerd and I don't know much about it, but it's how to watch an American football game, which we've talked about. Diane and I is actually it's interesting the way you think about it, because you think, oh, I already know about football. Well, football really has more to do with life than you think. I really enjoy her class because I don't know a lot about football to begin with. I didn't really play it in high school, and I'm a computer geek, so I like her class. But first, I want to ask you, Diane, is how did your course come about? How did this How to Watch an American Football Game come about?
Yeah, it was fun. A guy came up to me probably about 5 years ago, and for the most part, I teach communication and networking skills, and he said he was missing out on networking opportunities because he didn't understand football, and he was turning down invitations to go to football parties. And he realized that, he didn't want to look stupid. He was an American guy, he should kind of know, and but he didn't. And he said, but now that I'm a grown-up, I could talk about the game even if I didn't play. So he asked me if I teach him a little bit. He knew I was a football fan. I grew up with a father who was captain of his college team and also then a college professor. So every Saturday our family was at a game. And I still, Dad's football friends, in many cases, actually when my dad was ill in his later years, his football friends were my friends. They came to help out. And so that was an amazing bond. And so I just knew the connection. And so I said, well, let me teach you. And so I taught him, a little bit about the game and, the 4 downs and offense, defense, and who's wearing the white shirts and, why some of that stuff matters. And so he just really appreciated it. And then I thought, gosh, he can't be the only one. And it's so easy when you are an American and you are in this culture to say, well, everybody understands this. Mm-hmm. And so long story short, I ended up meeting a guy who used to play for the New England Patriots, and he was actually from Honduras. And he came to the States for his better life, and somebody looked at him and said, "You're big," and they did kind of the charades because he didn't speak English much, and showed up on a Saturday, and unfortunately he was wearing soccer gear, and they said, no, we're gonna kill you if you don't wear that. So he says it's the best and worst day of his life, and so he started playing, and then he got a full scholarship to college.
Wow.
And then he got drafted to the Dolphins and then the Patriots. And again, English not even being his first language, and he just did really, really well. So
wow.
He and I did it together, and one of our first customers was a woman who came in, and she couldn't stop thanking me. She was so thrilled, and she explained to me her husband had just passed away, and their son was the quarterback of the team, of the football team. And she said, so now my son's lost his dad and his biggest fan, and I know nothing.
Oh yeah. And
so for her it was very poignant. And then a lot of people who wanted to find out about it were non-U.S. nationals, because for them, soccer is football and football is soccer, and they can't understand why we call it. In fact, if you go to the Udemy class, the opening video is a video of John Cleese. It's a spoof about, why do Americans call it football? And he's very funny about just kind of ranting about this whole thing. He's the only reason why you have all of this energy, and then all of a sudden it stops, is so you can have a beer commercial. And he said, otherwise it's very uncreative. You just pile on each other. But, we talk about sports. I live in Boston, but I grew up in Colorado, Washington, D.C., other cities. And, in many cases, sports isn't just the sports page, it's the business page. And when the football referees were on strike last fall, you had Obama talking about it, you had Romney talking about it, you had Newt Gingrich. Everybody was talking about it because there was a sense of fairness that was being taken away, and different people brought an angle to it, because it's like, well, if you don't have people who know what they're doing, then it's your business isn't going to work. So it was really a business discussion. And at what point do you play chicken?
Yeah.
With your business? And and the football commissioner, to his credit, got in there pretty quickly and says, we got to get this done. We've got to solve this. So
yeah.
And so the most recent person I teach it with is the former athletic director of Boston College, and I actually met him on a plane. We were sitting across the aisle from each other on our way to Texas about a year and a half ago, and we hit turbulence, and we hit a bad bump, and he started holding my hand. And he was, it was a rough flight. And so, do you want to pray? Do you want to talk? And so I said, why are you going to where you're going? And he said, football. And so I just started yakkering away about this idea. And then the catch was, what did I do as a networker? Because I wanted to follow up with him, but he didn't have a business card. I didn't want to stalk him. And so I tracked down his assistant online and followed up with her, and he was gracious enough to give me 10 minutes, which he says to me that I'm enthusiastic and I will not say no. What I so respected with him is he did return my phone call, and so when he said no the first time, I dropped it.
Yeah.
And so in this class, actually on Udemy, it's actually kind of a mashup between networking and football. We kind of team teach it. And so I dropped it, and then I read he was on the Boston Globe that he was retiring, and so I wrote him, and so now we've been doing it together. And our most recent class was just 2 weeks ago with 100 people at the British consulate, and CBS News came and filmed it.
That's right.
And and then I took that video, not CBS's video, but somebody else was videoing it. I took that video and created it onto Udemy, and we've had 70 people buy it directly from the site, and then there's another, one of these online deal groups, and they've sold almost 300. It's a $2.99 as we speak.
Wow. And I think that was, you told me that was Living Social, right?
Yep, Living Social.
Those are great deals there. Wow. That's, I love that story. It's so great. Like you said, football and things, sports in general whether you know it or not, are part of life. I mean, the way we talk about things, you know, like we were talking earlier about how businesses constantly use sports terms like, you know, you drop the ball or other things, you know. It's knowing those terms and what they mean it seems like second nature to us. But
I mean, I say this to women all the time. I said, you've got to get off the sidelines. And then I realized, do they even know what that means? And because women often don't speak up in meetings, and they're overlooked for promotion and things like that. That's kind of a gender piece of the communication I teach.
Right.
But there's just so many terminologies. And 60 Minutes did a piece not too long ago about football, and 60% of donations to universities are done in football season. So, you know, I mean, and we look at obviously the sad story about football with Penn State, you know, and it was such a part of the culture that people were willing to, you know, look the other way on something that they really shouldn't have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so it's, you know, and one of the things that I feel very passionate about is obviously the safety and the professionalism. And, you know, with everything, there can be things that go wrong. But in many cases, it is such a part of our culture. It's taken over in some cases from baseball being, you know, the American game. And what's interesting is if you go to YouTube and I put these clips on, on the extra additional resources, I put a whole bunch of clips on my class about football in England, in Kuwait, in Japan. There's a Super Bowl between Germany and Austria.
Wow.
There's a guy who's moved to China and he's teaching football in China. And in the beginning, he had basically take anybody he could get. Now he holds tryouts.
Holy cow.
And so it's really become so much a bigger topic outside of the United States. Having said that, it is definitely American football. It is not soccer.
No, it's not. Wow, that's incredible. I didn't know that.
I was pretty amazed. At seeing. In fact, there's a great clip I have on there about a young girl named Sam, and I titled it, you know, she plays like a girl. And she plays on the guy's side, and she just the videos of her running are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's getting to be more and more common too that young girls are starting out playing football.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
But you're right. I think it has taken over baseball because I ask people all the time if they watch baseball, and that's too boring. You watch football? Oh yeah, it's
too long.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The biggest problem with baseball is it's long, and so you never know when a baseball game is going to end. You definitely know when a football game is going to end. It's about 3 hours from start to finish, and you know, and I think people like that for time. You know, same with basketball and hockey and some of those sports that work. Tennis goes on for depending on how the game is going. So
yeah,
some of them are a little bit trickier. But what's been fun about putting the Udemy class together was to, so many people have asked me, would I share? I mean, I'm a speaker for a living. I go to conferences and I go to universities and I speak and share and do workshops, and it's great, but it's a prime ticket for an organization to bring me in and fly me in. I just came back from Southern Methodist University teaching at the law school. And, so there were, I think, 160 students between my two classes, and they were all going to be going the next day to an event called Meet the Firms. And they were first-year law students who were going to go off and meet people who potentially they would get jobs from or internships. And, but it's not something that everybody can do. And some people hire me for one-on-one coaching, but again, it's a limit. It's a capacity for everybody. And so what I was so thrilled about Udemy was that I could put my knowledge up there. People could buy it. And I love the Khan Academy. And I think what's been fun for people is that they can go watch the football, or they can watch I've done one on how to write a book, and I've also done one on overcoming debt. And and I've got a few more in the pipeline now. But one of the things that people like is they can start and stop. And I remember when Saul Khan was starting the Khan Academy, he said his cousins liked it because they could pause him. I don't know if you know that story, but he was tutoring his cousins, and he was doing it on YouTube and didn't privatize the videos because it was just he was teaching them math. And other people started finding it and saying, would you do another one on calculus? And so that actually through into the Khan Academy, which is one of my favorite sites, KHAN.
Oh yeah, okay, I know about that.
Yep. And at some point, Bill Gates even said when he gets overwhelmed by teaching his kids math, he just sends them to the Khan Academy, and they can start and stop, and they can repeat, and they can go and not feel silly and do it in their own time. I will take a difference with your previous person. I think a college education is extremely important.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I don't think this will take that over, but I do think that for those of us who've graduated from college and our brains still think, this is a great way to continue our learning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing with college is you still have to have that, it is a base of education for sure. And it's a great way of, moving yourself up in the world, because without an education, and especially I've noticed with people without the piece of paper, even you can't really move forward. And it's one thing if you're using Udemy as to learn like a skill or a hobby, or like for me, I'm teaching you how to speed up your computer. It's nothing. I mean, you could possibly get a job with some of the things that I teach, but it's definitely not going to replace college. I mean,
no, it's not. And I think to kind of go on the topic that you were talking about with plagiarism.
Yeah.
I think it's a very, I come from an academic family. In my slides and all my materials, I like to say where I got the information from, who created it. To me, that is just respectful of education. I did happen to think of this concept of football. I searched a lot, and so far I haven't found other people who are doing it. I'm sure I'll get some imitators sooner than later. But and actually when I first started doing this, people said, "Oh yeah, a lot of women would like that," and I'm like, the guys do too.
Oh yeah.
And if you go to watercoolerfootball.com, you can see the video clip from CBS. And we had, again, 7 nationalities, and it was about a 50-50 male-female. Yeah. And a lot of the men were asking questions, too.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, people like me, I'm not afraid to admit it, that I don't know much about sports. I don't watch it very often. I wasn't really raised in a, sports family. I participated in sports as a kid, but, I like to learn more about it, too. It's... Yeah.
And so, but I think to Udemy's credit, I hope that, if they ever do find out that people are plagiarizing or fudging, it doesn't mean you're not going to have, there's a lot of classes on Udemy about how to write a book.
Oh, yeah, there's tons of different identical.
There's a bunch of them. And different people have different perspectives, and some people, in fact, there's one woman I was glad to know about her. I found her in the Udemy Faculty Lounge today on Facebook, and she's written a Udemy class on how to write.
Oh, yeah. I saw that today, too.
Yeah. So, hers is specifically about the writing process. The course I put together was about why you should publish, number 1, 2, the legal aspects, 3, the writing, 4, the marketing, and 5, are you in a financial position to actually take time off to write a book?
Right.
So that's my structure, but it won't be somebody else's. And so I think it's, as long as you're in a setting where it's respectful, and I think for Udemy so far is handling it very, very well, to create a platform to do this. And I put one class up there that's mainly audio, and so far they've nixed it. You can find it if you search for it. I put the audio version of my second book called Networking for Career Success.
Oh, okay.
But I think that there's people learn in different ways, 1, and 2, I think, if you let people download that, then they can listen in their car or in the iPod or whatever else it might be. Not everybody can be looking at a screen the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's a great platform for learning, and like you said, if they, at some point, if you let them download it, they give us the option at Udemy to allow people to download your videos and stuff, but, or, you can write an ebook and let them download that so they can just read your entire course, or like you said, an audio course. There's different ways of learning. There's always different styles and things like that. So like with your how to watch an American football game, do you have any promotions coming up or anything for the listeners that they can go and take the course?
No, absolutely, for your listeners. What was the code we did? I forget.
I
Was
think
it was your name, Justin?
Yep, it was Justin. That's right.
Yeah. So anybody can go to udemy.com and just search football or American football, and then the class is $50. But I've given if you use the code Justin, you get 30% off.
Okay, so yeah, that'd be a $35 course. That's well worth it. That's a great deal. I do appreciate that, and I'm sure the listeners will appreciate that. And again, I will have the links to everything on the show notes after the show. So if you didn't catch all of it, it'll all be there for you with the coupon codes and things like that for my listeners.
No, absolutely. In fact, one person wrote me, and she said that she works for a very, very high power consulting firm, and they were doing a presentation, and it was not going well at all. And I think she was probably one of the more junior people in the room, was my sense. I'm still getting all the details with this. And somehow the Ravens came up, and she started talking football. And, and I think she's maybe 25, maybe 30 at the most. And so the person who they were pitching to was just completely amazed that this young person, too, a girl, was able to talk football. And it kind of got everybody off the topic of the presentation so they could regroup. But it was also a bonding thing, because one of the things that happens is you connect over things that are often not about work.
Oh, yeah.
You connect over, do you have kids? In fact, when I taught networking at Boston College at the School of Management, I asked the students to go out at one of the breaks, and they couldn't come back in unless they talked to at least 3 people. And this one guy came back in a flash. I said, "How did you meet 3 people so fast?" And he says he walked up to people who had dogs. And he says, "I'm a dog walker. Tell me about your dog."
That's how it works. You just talk about whatever, It's like you said, it's not always about your work. And like I do that with my coworkers. We talk about sports, and one of my coworkers brews her own beer, so she talks about the beers that she makes, and of course my other coworkers talk about sports, and then I'm in the back going, I don't really know much about sports, so.
Well, sports and beer have a lot in common.
Yes, they do. Well, I do appreciate you being on the show, Diane. It's been wonderful listening to you. We have about a minute left.
Sure.
So we'll recap. You have a promotion is 30% off your How to Watch an American Football Game. You also have your other courses, the was it how to be an author?
Yep, lessons learned from a first-time author, and then I have one called Overcoming Debt.
Yeah, I bet that one would be a great one, actually. So
yeah,
that's a big topic now.
It is a big topic. I was homeless for a bit, and I'm back on my feet, and it was a journey, and so I am just happy to share that information.
Yeah, that'd be a great, inspiring story. So everybody head over to udemy.com, and I will have the show notes after the show and all the links for you all. Once again, Diane,
I think if they just look up your name, Justin Gilson, or my name, Diane Darling, they can find us.
Yeah, I believe that's the easiest. That's perfect. Well, thank you again, Diane. We're going to close out the show here. Maybe I'll have you on the show again. It's been fun talking to you.
Same here.
So have a good rest of your day, and everyone, thank you for listening.
Take care.
Take care now. Bye.